Hello everyone, this is Michael Voss with the Voss Political Commentary. I'm happy to be here with you today, and as you can see, I am live right now outside of the Greater Binghamton Sports Center in Binghamton, New York, which is in Broome County, part of the New York 22nd District. We're here today because incumbent Congresswoman Claudia Tenney is holding an event with some of the local residents, one of several events she's had throughout the entire New York 22nd District. And we're also taking the opportunity to speak with some of the constituents of the New York 22nd District who have come out to hear the Congresswoman and to lend her their support. We expect to be able to speak with the former mayor of Binghamton, Richard Bucci, and have his thoughts on why is he lending his support and any of the comments he may be making and his thoughts about New York and its economy. We'll also be talking to some of the other residents throughout the region. We look forward to hearing your comments about this and providing you this information so that you will be informed and make an informed decision in November. We thank you. We look forward to speaking to you soon. Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is Michael Voss of No Sound Bites Allowed. We're here today outside of the Binghamton Sports Complex, and we're having a great time. We're about to see and tape some of the people who are coming in to see our Congresswoman Claudia Tenney as she speaks to the public, and one of the people we're going to be speaking today is actually former Mayor Richard Bucci, and I am so happy to be here with you today.
Thank you, glad to be here.
Definitely. And may I ask, Mayor, what brought you out today?
Well, I came out because obviously I've heard Claudia. I support Claudia, and the reason I support her is because I've looked at what's happened in this nation over the last 2 years. And if you just look the last week, the stock market has hit record highs several times over the last week. Unemployment claims are at a record low. Millions of jobs have been created. Consumer confidence is an 18-year high. And you look at all these economic factors, the result of which was the tax cut that the Congress, with Claudia Tenney's support, was able to accomplish, that has stimulated the economy. It has helped people's 401ks explode. It's helped create jobs, expanded consumer confidence. That's great news. And I think we have to stand back, look at the economy and how it's booming, and realize it's a result of the Republican policies that they've put into place, especially the tax cut, which affects 95% of the people got some kind of tax cut. That's amazing. If you look at foreign policy, what we've done, it's also incredible. Korea stopped firing missiles. They've released hostages without us giving them anything in return. If you remember, President Obama traded 5 terrorists for a deserter.
Yeah.
We got 3 hostages with nothing in return. We got the remains of our fallen heroes who are now being identified from the Korean conflict. The Iran deal, which was the disaster, was scrapped. So if you look at the international scene, you look at what's going on here, we're moving in the right direction, and we want to keep going that way. And Claudia will help us do that.
Now, for those who don't know, Mayor Bucci is a former mayor of Binghamton. So when you speak about some of the economic data, you actually know how it affects our region. And we've had the highest level of unemployment in pretty much the entire state of New York. So I'm sure you still have contacts. What are you hearing about the improvement in Binghamton, Broome County, and the New York 22nd District?
Well, the interesting thing is, as we all know, upstate New York has taken a beating over the last several decades. It's taken a beating. And even a former Governor Spitzer, when he was running for governor, compared upstate New York to Appalachia. And he was a Democrat. But he was right. There were some parts of the state that have just been hit hard economically, and we haven't seen the relief that we should from Albany. And what's happened is the policies in Washington are now starting to have an impact on upstate New York. The tax cuts are generating enthusiasm, generating investment. Jobs are starting to come back in. Manufacturing jobs are starting to come back in. We have a long ways to go, but if these policies are just starting to take effect. And we don't want to go backwards. We don't want to have those policies reversed. And I think that's what will happen if we have a change. So it's important to stand back, look at what we've done over the last 2 years. I think the decision will be easy to pull the lever for Claudia Tenney.
Let me ask you, if I may, Mayor, you're in touch. You're one of the most beloved mayors in Binghamton in quite some time. And you obviously, everywhere you go, people still speak about you and speak to you. What have you heard about Claudia Tenney, the New York 22nd race for 2018? What has been the feedback you've been hearing?
Well, I've been hearing that she's out there, she's fighting for it, she's visible, she's constantly on the go, and she has a solid message. And people appreciate the fact that she's not just running TV commercials, she's actually out walking the district, walking in small towns, cities, country roads, shaking hands, and listening to what people have to say. And I think she's internalizing what they're saying, and I think I know she's taking it back to Washington.
Is there, while we have you, is there anything else you would like to mention to any of the viewers? Anything that you would want to add?
No, I think it's very simple. Look at what she's done. They'll tell you what she's going to do. Look at the track record. Look where we came in the last 2 years, nationally, internationally, economically, pride in the nation, consumer confidence. I think the decision's an easy one.
I thank you, Mayor Bucci.
You're very welcome. My pleasure.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is Michael Voss with No Sound Bites Allowed, and I am here today with Carol Banowitz, and I apologize for mispronouncing
No problem.
that. And Carol's here at the event for Claudia Tenney, the New York 22nd incumbent Congresswoman, and she's seeking re-election, and you came out to hear her speak today. And we just wanted to ask for a moment, why are you here?
Well, first of all, I'm a local committee person in Cortland, and I've known Claudia since the beginning, and we are huge supporters of hers, and we try to come to almost any event that's locally where we can come and try to support her.
Okay.
And we are big, we try to work to help in any way we can to get her reelected because it's majorly important that she win this election.
Well, you mentioned that you're a strong supporter and you believe it's very important to maintain the seat with the Republicans.
Definitely important.
Okay. Why would you say that?
Because if the House is taken over by the Democrats, everything that we elected this president to do is not going to happen. And she is one of the hardest working people in the Congress that I know of. She reminds me a lot of the president. She works 24/7. She's out with the people all the time, doing everything she can to help the people in our district, and she really loves the people.
Well, see, that's one of the things a lot of people say is, where is Claudia Tenney? Or some of the opponents have alleged that she's not part of the people or out with the people.
She's always out with the people. That's an out-and-out lie.
Okay, so you've had the experience of seeing her around and...
Oh, and if you look on her Facebook page, she posts everywhere she's been. She's always out with the people. She attends all kind of events, and then she works tirelessly in Washington.
Okay. And let me ask you, you've seen, a lot of people have talked about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, which Claudia Tenney voted for and have
And I
lowered.
support.
Yeah. And a lot of people do, but the Democrats, Governor Cuomo, Nancy
Don't
Pelosi,
even get me going on Cuomo.
right, and Anthony Brindisi have all said that they are looking to increase taxes on personal and corporations. What does that make you feel? How do you think about that?
I'm against it. Why would you want to increase taxes on anything, and why would anybody vote to increase taxes on anything, corporate or personal?
Is there anything else that you would like to mention now that we have this opportunity?
Just that I think it's vitally important that we make sure she wins re-election. It's an urgent thing all over the United States. We need to retain control of everything's going down the tubes.
I thank you, Carol.
Thank you
And I
very
hope
much
that
for
you're gonna-
giving me the opportunity to speak.
Absolutely. I hope you
Remember,
enjoy it.
vote Tenney.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. This is Michael Voss with Voss Political Commentary, and I'm here at the Binghamton Sports Center. We're about to see, actually, the event that's about to take place is the incumbent Claudia Tenney of the New York 22nd District. Our Congresswoman is about to speak to some of the constituents, and one of those constituents is here with me right now. That's Ed Hickey. You're a local business owner.
Yes.
And Mr. Hickey, let me ask you, what brings you out today?
My support for Claudia Tenney. I met her a few years ago, and she believes in the same things I believe in. And I think that with the current political situation and the press being so blatantly biased, that she needs all the support she can get. So here I am.
And I do want to mention to people, I do know Mr. Hickey. We've run in many of the same circles. We're both Republicans. So,
Chairman of the Republican Committee.
absolutely. But let me ask you, Mr. Hickey, you're also a business owner.
Yes.
And the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act has been a very big issue in this race. And many people, Mr. Brindisi, Governor Cuomo, Nancy Pelosi, have mentioned that they're looking to raise personal taxes and corporate taxes. Let me ask you, as a business owner, how does that make you feel?
Well, I think it's horrible. I mean, I'm a small business, so I get a trickle-down effect from tax cuts, and I've got the effect. I mean, I notice more people out and about. I notice more money at the end of the week. I can't pin it to one specific cause, but I think it's more the people feel good about going out now. I think that there used to be a feeling of doom and gloom as far as what am I going to do with my finances, and I think right now there's a lot of optimism. People see that the economy's getting better, and they're celebrating by going out and buying a burger or going out and buying a new pair of shoes. The economy's going in the right direction, and that's the first time you've been able to say that for 8-10 years. And I think people should celebrate it instead of putting their feet down and making up stories about the tax cuts not helping them. The tax cuts are helping everyone. I mean, if except for the rich people. You know, if you don't itemize, the tax cuts by definition help you. And people don't realize that because they hear talking points, they believe talking points, but I think it's pretty obvious that we're all doing a little better, and let's keep it going.
Let me ask you, there are a lot of issues that have been going on recently in all of politics, and a lot of people are concerned about this race. What do you believe is the general feeling that you've been hearing about the New York 22nd race and Claudia Tenney?
It's a weird thing because I get two different feelings. When I talk to people in public with a crowd around, they're very hesitant to preach their support for the representative. When I talk to them personally and on the side, they're not. I think it's the political climate that's forcing the silent majority to remain silent. It's time to speak up. It's time, to fight for secure borders. I'm all about legal immigration, but the idea of not being allowed to arrest an illegal immigrant within 100 miles of the border, to me, is paramount to not being allowed to arrest a bank robber within 100 miles of a bank. A lot of banks would get robbed, and a lot of people will be coming to this country. We should invite people in. I mean, my family obviously came in, everyone's family came in, but they did it the right way. They did it to find a better life and to work their way into the position they're in now, not to come over and rest on their haunches. And if people come over illegally, it tends to mean that they're people that will do illegal things. We need to focus on getting more legal immigrants into the country, and we need to not have to focus as much on keeping illegal immigrants out. And that's kind of the problem we have.
And I know there's a lot of subjects that we can cover, and I know we've spoken about many things off camera and in personal life, but let me ask you, if there's any one last thing you would like to say to those who are watching, what else would you add?
Get out and vote this November. We're voting for it's an important time in America. Democrats vote as a group. They might say that they're moderates. They might say that they vote with their conscience, but they don't. That was pretty obvious in the State of the Union address. They sat when they were told to sit. They didn't clap when they were told not to clap. They do what the person that supports their campaign tells them to do, and that is resist. The idea that we have a party in America its platform is resist is sad. The Republicans have a platform. I don't agree with every single bit of it, but at least it's a platform, and Republicans vote the way they want to. That's why, despite a majority, Republicans don't get things passed every single time they try. If we allow the Democrats to have a majority, they will pass things every single time they try, and they will be things that rock us to our soul. It's time for us to, as a party, to band together and vote for the candidates that are best fit to represent us. And Claudia Tenney is that candidate.
I thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I hope Hey everyone, this is Michael Voss. I'm here at the Greater Binghamton Sports Center in Binghamton, New York, Roane County, and I'm with Congresswoman Claudia Tenney. She's just had an event here, and we're going to take a quick moment just to speak with her. Congresswoman Tenney, so how was the event?
I think it went really well. I'm really grateful that former mayor of Binghamton, Mr. Bucci, was able to introduce and support me here, and really gave a great introduction, and really grateful to have his support. It was really nice to be here. The sports complex is amazing, and really happy that Bob Cashew and his family were able to host us, and a lot of good people out, a lot of good questions. Got to talk about all the issues as we've been doing. I think this is like my 32nd or 33rd town hall, and I'm well over several hundred public meetings, including roundtables of various sorts. So really got great feedback today. Really grateful to have all these people coming in from several counties, actually, and it's been terrific. And got great questions. Got to dispel some of the lies that are on the commercials and get the facts to people, which I think is really important. Unfortunately, it's the job of our media to do that, and since they're not willing to do that, we're grateful that you're willing to do this for us.
Well, we do try to get it everywhere.
Yes.
I know that a lot of people have been asking, and we were speaking with some of the people here, including Mayor Richard Bucci, about the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act.
Right.
What has been the feedback that you've been getting from constituents on that?
Yeah, I've traveled around the district. I've done numerous business roundtables, traveled to businesses individually. I've been in contact with businesses. Obviously, you've heard me mention many times, Mayor Rich David was instrumental in helping us get some of the things we needed, like doubling the standard deduction, making sure we got our historic tax credits preserved, making sure the state and local tax deduction was retained at up to $10,000. Many of the child care credit doubled, a lot of good things that happened in tax reform, but the overwhelming reaction that I'm getting from whether it's individuals on all income levels, particularly lower and middle income taxpayers, all businesses of all levels, people are loving tax reform. It's really working. I continue to hear how small businesses are giving raises, giving bonuses, investing in new equipment because of the new expense deduction and the carry forward on those, or the eliminating the carry forward. A really good reaction. We're actually seeing for the first time some real enthusiasm and excitement in the economy because of the changes, and that's being reflected in the GDP growth, in the stock market, also reflected in our historically low unemployment rates, which is amazing. We also are seeing a lot of growth in our communities. And that's really what we've been needing to do. I mean, if we just could get the state government and its really high and oppressive tax and regulatory regime out of the way, I think you're going to see New York really come back after we've had devastating losses and really the highest out-migration of people in the nation. And I think that this federal tax reform is starting to bring us back. Unfortunately, the biggest lie being told is the Democrats are saying that this is somehow not good and that only the rich benefit, which is exactly the opposite. The rich are actually getting a tax break, but in the end, without their beloved state and local tax deduction to the maximum, they're actually not getting the tax benefit that a lot of lower and middle income taxpayers are getting. So that is, our focus was on 95% of the district, which is everyone. Only the top 5% are actually probably not getting the tax reform benefits that everyone else is getting, although the growth in the GDP and the growth in the market is really probably bringing them even on par, or they actually may even be doing a little better as well. So it's been great. I mean, it's terrific, and I think what's really interesting, and I think a real big problem for what the Democrats' false claims that this tax reform isn't working, is the Syracuse Post-Standard, which is a very left-leaning newspaper, actually came out in support of the tax cuts and endorse them. And they're right, and they made the right move because it is really working, and we're finally seeing some relief in upstate New York.
I know, Congresswoman, that we don't have a lot of time. I know you're going on to another event, and it's been actually 2 or 3 events. I know there was one in Binghamton, one in Owego, and also in Herkimer today. So that's a heavy, busy schedule for you. I just want to, and I'm looking forward to the opportunity when we have more time in an interview, and we'll speak about that. But let me ask you, you were just out, you were playing soccer with some of the girls. We have some video of that. Let me ask you, are you looking to take up soccer soon?
No, I am not very good at soccer. I'm great at hand-eye coordination sports, not foot-eye coordination sports. But I was a basketball player. I showed horses, hunters, and jumpers when I was young, and I was also a curler. I am a huge curling fan, and tennis player, golfer. Those are I'm pretty athletic, but soccer. Without some training, and these coaches offered to help, and maybe some of the young girls that are showing like terrific promise, I would look into soccer. It's great for your aerobic fitness, and so it's a great sport. It's a great sport for families, for girls especially, and really looking forward to seeing how well they do. I've been invited to their big tournament up in Batavia, and see how many of them make it, and maybe some of these women could eventually be Olympic athletes, which would be very exciting. They could join our own Erin Hamlin, who is a luger from Remsen, New York, in Oneida County. She's the first individual American, either male or female, to ever win a medal in luge in the Olympics. So we're really excited about her. So maybe we've got some potential Olympians here too.
Well, Binghamton would love that.
That would be great.
Yep. Well, I do thank you, Congresswoman.
Thanks
I know
so
you have to
much.
go, and we look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.